Jake Paul canceled his fight against Hasim Rahaman, which had to be fought on 6 August. He further said that Rahman Jr. failed to make the agreed-upon weight for the matchup at Madison Square Garden. Both the fighters signed a contract to fight on the weight of 200 pounds, but Rahman Jr. was having 215 pounds, and he managed to lose just 1 pound. So the weight for the fight was changed to 204 pounds. Paul also offered to fight at 204 pounds, but Rahman's weight was 214 pounds.
Folks, emergency press conference. You may have seen the news. Hasim Rahman Jr. has pulled out of the fight. This is not a joke. I am devastated. I cannot believe this. We just found out this news.
But UFC President Dana White isn't sure about that. How does White react to this whole cancellation scenario? Media was interviewing Dana White, where they asked him what were his thoughts on the cancellation of Jake Paul's fight just a week before, to which White replied, "Nobody could do that."
Nobody can do that.
He further said that he wasn't happy with this cancellation at all.
And, I'm not going to sit up here and be happy or gloat.
According to him, behind every fight, the players have done enormous hard work and training.
That their fight fell out. I mean, both those guys, I'm sure, put in a lot of hard work and a lot of training to get ready for this fight.
Not just this, he added, saying a lot of money is also being spent to prepare for the fight.
It spent money to get ready for this fight.
He didn't say anything against Paul directly. Still, he criticized his choice of business associates. Just because you were an accountant here doesn't mean you know what goes on here, and it also doesn't mean you can run a fight promotion company.
Just because you were an accountant here doesn't mean you know what the fuck goes on here. And doesn't mean that you can run a fight promotion company.
Indirectly, he was talking about the former chief financial officer at UFC, Nikisha Badarian, who is Paul's business partner. Dana White also had some advice for Jake Paul. He said Jake Paul needs to get some different people around him. If he is going to stay in the sport, he needs to be with guys that know how to put on fights.
I think that Jake Paul probably needs to get some different people around him. If he's going to stay in the sport, he needs to be with guys that actually really know how to put on fights.
When he was asked about the real disappointment, White also hinted that the central problem in the entire scenario was a lack of interest in the event. He said, "I think they sold under $1 million in tickets, and it cost $500,000 to turn the lights on at MSG."
I think they sold under $1 million in tickets, and it cost $500,000 to turn the fucking lights on at MSG. That's what I think.
He further said that hotel rooms in New York and transportation and everything else is costly.
Oh, not to mention the fact that hotel rooms in New York and transportation and everything else is very expensive.
He also asked about the money and whether they would get their money back if they put a deposit on the Garden, or did they have to rearrange the date, to which he clearly said, "I don't know the deal between them."
I don't know. That's up to them and MSG. I don't know what their deal. I know what my deal is. I don't know what their deal is.
And this is just another case of a professional boxer, just like Tommy Fury, being scared to fight me. It's as clear as day that these guys have been so unprofessional to work with, looking for any excuse to suck more money out of this event, to coerce us into doing things. And from the jump, I knew in the bottom of my heart that this guy didn't want to get into the ring with me.